In today's Hollywood Happenings, we are revisiting two great movies that are coming out on DVD this week. One is a fantasy and one deals with the very harsh reality of war.
The Hobbit and Lone Survivor were both big draws when they opened in the theaters. Now our entertainment reporter Jim Ferguson joins us to revisit both of these really good movies.
And we will, but I never get tired of seeing the opening with you two cheering me.
No, isn't it just so cute?
It really is cute. You know, both these DVD releases did very, of course, The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug, $74 million opening weekend.
Wow.
Opening weekend. And Lone Survivor, $40 million opening weekend. So they both were box office hits. And now, this week, you can rent them on DVD.
Which one did you like better? I mean, they're vastly different movies.
Oh, two different genres,
yeah.
Totally, you know. But let's begin with Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug, an action adventure. Of course, the dwarfs are back, led by Bilbo Baggins, played by Martin Freeman, and they are trying to find or free their homeland, okay? And along the way, the journey to get to their homeland to kill the monster Smaug, they run into an elf, a royal elf, played by Evangeline Lilly. And she is beautiful and she's wonderful and she helps save the dwarves. Is she, your character, a new addition to the story?
Yes, she's a complete fabrication of Peter Jackson, Fran Walsh, and Philippa Boyens. She is the only character in the story that is a complete fabrication, but there are a number of other characters in the story who are elaborations. So a character that might have been mentioned in passing in a sentence is elaborated into a full character. And they were able to use Tolkien's appendices, and you know, they're very familiar with all of his work, so they were able to pull from Tolkien's work to both expand and create those characters and create my own. So it's not necessarily a departure from Tolkien's work, but it is certainly a little bit different than what you see in the raw material, which is the Hobbit book.
Well, Peter was, I'm going to tell him, a genius for putting you in this.
Oh, bless.
You grew up a fan, am I right, of The Hobbit?
Yeah, I was a huge fan. It was my favorite book as a little girl, and I used to dream about being a woodland elf. And I grew up in Canada, and I was a woodsy little girl. I just loved being in the forest. So this is truly a dream come true, this role.
And, of course, you were offered this role shortly after you had a child.
Yes.
And it had to be physically difficult for you.
Yes, very, very challenging. I have never been so physically challenged, and I think I had a bit too much, I was a bit too cocky about what I could accomplish physically because I'd always been a strong and capable young woman. But having carried a child for 9 months and then given birth, my body was not able to do what I was used to it being able to do. And I would go into these situations expecting to perform a certain way, and I physically could not move in ways I used to be able to move. And then there was the added complication of the fact that there's all these hormones flowing through your system when you're nursing a baby that are like love and soft and mushy and gushy, and I'm expected to be gritty and raw and tough and angry, and I don't feel that way. I feel gushy and mushy and happy, so I had to overcome a lot of physical obstacles to do what I had to do to bring her to life.
Where do you see her shoot a bow and arrow? Wow, you make that look so easy.
That's the magic of CGI. Those arrows are, that's my confession, is that they're CGI arrows.
Did you have fun with the wardrobe and makeup?
I did. I really loved putting on this character because I've always played characters who are, you know, gal next door kind of characters, jeans and t-shirt, ordinary girl, ponytail. So for me to actually transform into a character was really exciting, and it made my job a little bit easier because it was a job that demanded so much, and that was one of the ways that I was helped along, is by putting on all of this costume.
And this is actually the second Hobbit, correct?
Yes, Peter Jackson's second in his new trilogy, and it's a whodunit. Because at the end of this movie, I'm not going to give it away, but you can't wait for the next one, okay?
Oh, it leaves you hanging.
Next year, right?
All right.
Well, go ahead.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, Sarah.
Go ahead.
I interrupted you.
I'm talking about the next movie. You finish your thought.
Okay, no, just quickly, some of our viewers Evangeline before.
Yes.
The Lost.
Okay.
She was a big, big star in The Lost, and she'll be back.
Oh, I'm sure.
The next Hobbit, okay.
She's adorable.
Yeah.
Okay, so your next DVD is one of my favorite movies.
Mine
I mean,
too.
it was very hard to watch because the scenes are so realistic, you know, falling down the hills and stuff. And it's based on a true story, which I always love to see true stories retold on the big screen.
Yes, and as Mark Wahlberg said, this role changed his whole life, his whole thinking in Afghanistan. It's set 2005. 4 Navy SEALs, led by Marcus Luttrell, played by Mark Wahlberg, set out to assassinate the Shah, is his name. He's an Afghanistan leader who had slaughtered hundreds of American Marines. 4 of these guys are trapped in the mountains by the Afghan army. And it goes from there. I won't say any more, but it is extremely violent and very, very good. Here's my interview, I believe, with Marcus Luttrell, played by Mark Wahlberg. Your character, Marcus, was from Texas. And I'm sure he had a good knowledge growing up of the very famous slogan of 1836, "Remember the Alamo." See where I'm going? I think Americans, after they see this movie, should shout and scream, "Remember Operation Red Wings."
Absolutely.
Comment?
Absolutely. Well, you know, it's just in this day and age with everything that's going on in the media, and, you know, first of all, they're not focusing enough on what's happening with our soldiers on a daily basis, but also people just have very busy lives. So I think you need to stop, be reminded of what they do for us, the sacrifice that they make, and continue to do for us every day, and then show a little bit more appreciation.
Definitely. It is a story, a heroic story, that I think needs to be told. And it's important that I'm sure that you got it right for the families.
Absolutely. Well, we felt a huge amount of responsibility to get it right for every single family member. And also, you think about the Afghan people that are over there that are also fighting the Taliban, and that huge, amazing act of compassion that they would risk their own lives to save a stranger. It would have been so much easier to just turn Marcus over and, you know.
And the story of Marcus's survival, excuse me, Mark, was remarkable.
Then you think about what a unique individual he is, that after, enduring all that punishment and going back and rehabbing for a year and then being deployed 2 other times and getting his knees blown out again in Iraq. If he could go out there today, he'd be the first one out there. He'd be right on line with his brothers.
Yeah.
Love Mark Wahlberg's passion.
Oh, yes, and you talk to him, too. Just quickly, I know we only have a few seconds, but this Friday we have the young lady Gugu stars in Belle, one of my favorite movies of the year. I review it, and wait till you see her. She's unbelievable. And we have one of the co-stars from the Adam Sandler, Drew Barrymore comedy Blended. So it's a good show on Friday.
Very cool. Jim, thanks so much again.
Thank you, guys.
And right now we have Ahmed Saves America on Blu-ray. That sounds awesome. To enter for this disc, just head to our website and click on the contest page.
Still ahead on the Morning Blend, we get you bikini ready with easy lifestyle tips from the trainer of extreme weight loss.
Plus, seniors, start your engines. We're talking with our next senior on the move coming up right after this.